To produce a 2D section, we need to be in either a ground floor or a first floor view. It doesn't matter which one you're in. Once we're in those, up the top here, we've got our section button. So we can click on our section button, and then you can section any way you like, really. I'm just going to do a vertical section through here. So I'm going to click once at the top, and then click once again at the bottom, and you can now see we've got this section. You can see which way the section is facing to this arrow here, and this blue dotted line around the outside is also how much of the section we can see. So if we didn't want to see this back wall, for instance, we could actually pull this in, and then when we're in the section view, the depth of the view will only be this far. I'm going to keep this out to there just for this demonstration. So once we've got this section placed, we can then come into our our project browser, go down into sections, open that up, and then we can see we've got section 1. Every time you add a section, the number goes up, section 1, section 2, etc. So click on section 1, and then we can see our section through our house. This is quite useful for setting levels and working out where things are. It's also really good for getting access to highlighting things. So for instance, when we come to do our stairs, we need to put a hole in our stairs, we'll use this section for actually highlighting floors and so on. At the moment, the level of detail is very, very low. We can change the level of detail on any drawing down here in the left-hand side at the bottom here. So we've got our scale. This is currently drawing at 1 to 100. We could change that if we wished. The box next to it, this one here, we can change it from coarse, medium to fine. So if I place it into fine, we can now see we've got this hatching, and it looks a bit more detailed. So with this section, we can now look at various different things, heights of floors, heights of doors, and we can move that section around as well. So when we're in here, I can now grab this section and I can move it through here if I wish. Then go back into my section view, and the section will change depending on what it is we're looking at. That's 2D sections. To produce a 3D section, we really don't want to be losing our standard 3D drawing. We want to add to it. So with this one here, we want to duplicate this view. In order to do that, we go into our project browser, and in 3D views, in this 3D view here, I'm going to right click on there, and at the top here, I'm going to duplicate view, and then just go to duplicate. So what I've now got two views. I've got 3D and then 3D copy 1. For this one here, I'm just going to rename this one, and I'm going to call this one 3D section. And you could end up with maybe 3 or 4 of these. So you might call this 3D section 1, section 2, section 3, so on and so forth. Or you might call this 3D section ground floor, 3D section first floor, 3D section north elevation, however you want to carve this up. So while I'm in 3D section, in my properties box, I'm just going to scroll down a little bit and then find this section box. In Extents, find this section box, and then just check the box and then apply. And when I do that, you can see we've got this section box which comes out around the outside of it. I can click on the box itself, and when I do that, you can see I've got all these arrows. So for instance, if I wanted to remove the top portion, this arrow here, I can bring this down. You can see the section box going down, and that's reached the roof level. So if I wanted to look in the top of the first floor, I'd bring it down to about here. And I can now have a look around inside my property. I could also lower it down even more and look into my first floor. So just bring it below level 1, and I can look into the ground floor. If I wanted to take the side of a house off, just pick up another one of these arrows, depending on which way I want it to run, and I can then pick off this one here, and we can look inside, and we can see what's called a 3D section. You can also have multiples, so you could have that one, and you could also have this one down as well, so you can see how you can really carve the building up. This is quite useful for checking what it is you've drawn, and trying to see to make sure everything lines up, especially when we're doing components, when we're putting in kitchens, bathrooms, and that kind of stuff. It's really useful to be able to look in and see what you've drawn and make sure that it all does actually work when you're in 3D. And that's how you do 3D sections.